On this Wednesday, February the 18th, 2026, all three major global weather models are now showing signals for a potential major snowstorm along the East Coast by Sunday into Monday. The GFS is showing a full-blown blizzard along the I-95 corridor. The Canadian model agrees. The European model is a little further offshore, but trending closer with each run. And the WPC extended discussion is flagging possible coastal low development near New England early next week. Now, before anyone screenshots this and puts it on social media, we are still 5 days out, and the model data is chaotic with multiple pieces of energy that have not been sampled by weather balloons yet. But the signal is there, it is consistent, and it demands attention. Meanwhile, a blizzard is ongoing across the northern plains. The Sierra Nevada continues getting buried with feet of snow. Record-shattering warmth peaks today across the heartland, and the SPC has a severe weather threat for the Ohio Valley tomorrow into Friday. This is one of the most active weather weeks the country has seen in a long time. Let me take you through all of it. By the way, if you'd like specific weather forecasts for your region or city, please leave them in the comments. I'll answer them individually as time allows. Also, if you like the video and subscribe to my channel, you'd be very grateful. Now let's move on. Starting with the storm that has the most potential to impact the most people. Here is what is happening at the upper levels. Right now, there is an enormous amount of energy bottled up across the western United States. A deep trough is locked in with multiple short waves embedded within it. The problem for forecasters is that there is not one well-defined wave. There are a lot of little pieces of energy, and anytime you see this as a meteorologist, you expect chaos in the model data with quick changes and poor agreement. That is exactly what we are seeing. However, what the models do agree on is that by the weekend, all of these pieces of energy start to consolidate over the eastern United States. And when that energy consolidates on the right side, you get tremendous lift in the atmosphere. That lift near the East Coast in late February, with cold air in place, is the recipe for a major winter storm. The GFS model shows the most aggressive scenario. It consolidates the energy tightly and develops a full-blown blizzard along the I-95 corridor by Sunday afternoon into Monday. It dumps heavy snow through Massachusetts, Long Island, Connecticut, Rhode Island, up into New Hampshire and the down east areas of Maine. Wind and snow combine for blizzard conditions. The Canadian model is very similar, forming a blockbuster storm right along the east coast that runs up into eastern Canada. The European model is a little more conservative. It consolidates the energy but keeps the system a bit further offshore, making it more of a close miss for the big I-95 cities. However, this morning's European run was more exciting than yesterday's, trending closer to shore. The ensemble data from both the European and GFS shows a 40 to 50% chance of at least an inch of snow from Philadelphia through Boston, and a 25 to 30% chance of 4 or more inches across the same corridor. What that spread tells me is this has boom or bust potential. Either it comes together and delivers a blockbuster, or it stays just far enough offshore to spare the big cities. There is not a lot of middle ground. Here's the timeline if the storm develops, as the GFS and Canadian suggest. Thursday into Friday, the energy starts ejecting east, with one system developing over the Midwest, bringing snow and potentially severe weather to the Ohio Valley. Saturday, the energy starts to consolidate across the southeast and mid-Atlantic. By Sunday afternoon into Monday, a coastal low rapidly deepens and rides up the east coast, potentially reaching nor'easter intensity. The European ensemble gives West Virginia the highest snow odds, with the Philadelphia to Baltimore corridor showing the next highest probability. The areas from D.C. to New York City are on the extreme western fringe, where a shift of just 50 to 100 miles in the storm track could mean the difference between a dusting and a foot of snow. New York City, Boston, Philadelphia, Baltimore, and Washington, D.C. all need to be monitoring this closely over the coming days. Albany, Hartford, Providence, and the interior Northeast are in play, regardless of the exact track. Long Island and coastal New England face the added threat of strong winds and coastal flooding if the storm develops. This winter has already proven it can deliver, with Winter Storm Fern that killed 171 people and the Carolina bomb cyclone that dropped 11 inches on Charlotte. February is historically peak nor'easter month. Sea surface temperatures off the East Coast are running up to 15 degrees below normal from New England to the Carolinas, which is extremely cold and favorable for snowstorm development. CNN's analysis notes this is tracking as one of the 5 coldest winters for several eastern seaboard cities. Now, before we get to Sunday, there is active weather happening right now and through the end of this week. A full-blown blizzard is ongoing across the northern plains. The low-pressure center is at 983 millibars, which if it were a tropical system would be borderline tropical storm or hurricane intensity. Blizzard warnings remain in effect for Montana, North Dakota, and Minnesota. NWS Duluth has winter storm warnings with up to 15 inches on the North Shore. Grand Forks could top 8 inches with blowing snow reducing visibility to near zero at times. Duluth is looking at close to a foot with lake enhancement. Fargo sees heavy snow and strong winds. The Upper Peninsula of Michigan faces a dangerous wintry mix. Red flag warnings and high wind warnings are posted across the Great Plains. Minneapolis sees the worst of the snow to the north, but picks up rain transitioning to snow. International Falls and the Beak of Minnesota get hammered. The snow stripe extends into upstate New York and southern New England with a general 1 to 3 inches, possibly up to 2 for Boston. Nothing huge for the Northeast from this particular system. The Sierra Nevada continues to get absolutely crushed. Snow is still falling as low as 1,500 feet, putting the I-5 grapevine at risk. 6 feet of snow is possible in some areas from the mean models, with high-end guidance showing 50 to 60-plus inches. Imagine a person's height in snowfall. Interstate 80 and Highway 50 remain closed or under heavy chain controls. Lake Tahoe resorts have incredible powder, but upper lifts remain closed from wind with ridgetop gusts still topping 100 miles per hour. Reno faces airport disruptions with a greater than 80% chance of 2 feet of runway accumulations. Yosemite, Sequoia, and Kings Canyon remain in the warning zone with blizzard conditions at upper elevations. Sacramento picks up continued heavy rain. San Francisco and the Bay Area stay wet with possible thunderstorms as cold air aloft supports instability. Los Angeles had severe thunderstorm warnings with tornado possible tags earlier this week. The WPC maintains flooding concerns for burn scar areas across Southern California. The snow extends through Oregon and Washington's mountains and into the Rockies from Colorado through Yellowstone and Idaho into Montana. Portland and Seattle see repeated rain with heavy cascade snow. The ski resorts from the Sierra to the Rockies are going to pile up incredible numbers. Flagstaff, Albuquerque, and northern New Mexico see snow from this western trough. Salt Lake City adds significant accumulation. Denver and the Front Range pick up snow from multiple waves. Boise continues getting buried. The Four Corners region gets hammered Wednesday into Thursday as the reinforcing trough pushes inland with 50 to 60 mile per hour wind gusts and wind chills of -10 to -15 in higher elevations. The Sierra snowpack has been at 50% of normal, and this extended active period is the most critical for California's water supply all season. The record warmth peaks today. This is the day. Chicago could hit the 60s today, shattering records. Springfield, Illinois hits 67. Columbus reaches the 60s. Lincoln, Nebraska is in the upper 60s. Sioux Falls hits 64 in February. Dallas stays near 80. San Antonio was at 84 yesterday. Even Washington, D.C. and Raleigh are feeling well above average temperatures. Nashville, Atlanta, Jacksonville, New Orleans, and Houston are all warm and pleasant. But the price of this warmth is coming due tomorrow. The SPC has flagged a rare Day 4 severe weather risk for the Ohio Valley for Thursday into Friday. Cincinnati, Indianapolis, Louisville, Evansville, Lexington, Clarksville, and St. Louis are all included. Gulf moisture surges northward, pushing dew points into the upper 50s and lower 60s all the way into Indiana, which is rare for February. The RRFS model shows an arc of supercells forming east of St. Louis and racing into Indiana and Kentucky. The dew point contrast is extreme. Louisville at 59 degrees Thursday evening while St. Louis sits at 31. That sharp gradient is where storms form. If individual supercells develop ahead of the main line, the tornado threat increases significantly. This is a Thursday evening into Thursday night event, which makes it especially dangerous because storms after dark are harder to track visually. Bowling Green, Nashville, Dayton, and Springfield, Illinois are also in the potential threat zone. After the Ohio Valley severe event, the Friday system continues east. The energy from this system is what potentially feeds into the weekend East Coast storm. A new low develops over eastern Colorado and emerges over the Midwest and Great Lakes Friday, then all of that energy consolidates toward the coast. Behind it, cold air floods back in. By early next week, another shot of Arctic air settles into the eastern United States, with temperatures 10 to 20 degrees below average. But the models do show moderation back toward above average in the 10-day range. The bottom line for Wednesday: record warmth peaks today across the heartland, with Chicago approaching 60s. The SPC severe weather threat for the Ohio Valley is tomorrow, with supercell and tornado potential. A blizzard rages across the northern plains right now. The Sierra continues getting buried with feet of snow, and all three global models are showing signals for a potential major East Coast snowstorm by Sunday into Monday. The GFS and Canadian show a blizzard along I-95. The European is close but offshore. Ensemble odds are 40 to 50% for an inch or more of snow from Philadelphia to Boston. This is boom or bust. It is going to be a long week of tracking, and I will be here for every update. Stay weather aware no matter where you are.